on today.
Yeah.
Yo. What up? YouTube land, big up yourself, you know the vibes. All podcast platforms, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. This is the Prolific Vibes Podcast with your host, Rick. And thanks again for tuning in for another episode. And today is a big episode. It is the final episode of season 1 of Prolific Vibe Podcast. Season number 2. Today's episode is titled The Long Game. The Long Game, guys. Today's episode is titled The Long Game. Explaining what I mean when I say the long game, it's just taking my journey, for example, and everything that I've been doing in terms of this YouTube channel, in terms of podcasting, and understanding that it's a journey and it's not just going to be doing a few episodes, reaching a few people, and then, you know, the message is going to be so phenomenal and so great. I'm going to be known or I'm going to get famous off of the message. You know, that's not the intention. The intention is reaching as much people as we can as possible with positive vibes and positive vibration, and just, even if it's just switching one thought of idea or just one thing in someone's mind to just put them on a positive or a more positive journey or a more positive path. That's kind of what I'm trying to do, you know. And when I'm doing these podcasts and these YouTube, that's the message I'm trying to put across. You know, there's other things that come with it, notoriety, you know, money, you know, possibly ventures, contracts, partnerships, all of that's going to come down the line. And it goes to what the title is stating, the long process. Like, I kind of have to think about it a little bit, because I notice the average person, when they think of doing something, when they think of becoming successful or becoming rich or having things, it's always an initial thought, and then they're looking at what the end result is in their mind. Our minds are not programmed and trained to think about the little minute steps that you're going to have to take in between from inception to finalization. And that's what I mean when I say the long game. You have to sign up with yourself, in yourself, the long game. You have to know you're going to be playing the long game of becoming successful, of getting to your goals and accomplishing what you want. You know, you have to look at it that you have to do something for about 10 years for it to be even considered a staple, for it to be a brand, for it to be so magnified that the foundation is so strong that it can't be broken again. So anything you're into, if you're not doing it for 10 years plus, don't feel that you deserve the notoriety and the brownie points to say, well, you don't have to put in no more work or there's not more to do. You have to think about the long game, guys. The long game. You know, like they say, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You have to pace yourself. You have to set bars within your goal and accomplish those things as you go. Be realistic with yourself, guys. If you know you have to get up 6-7 o'clock every morning, try doing that first. Set small goals, and once you can accomplish those goals and those small goals becomes second nature, muscle memory, then put something else on that goal and try to accomplish that. Some people are not even disciplined enough to wake up at a specific time every morning. You know, they go to bed whenever, they do things whenever because they feel like they control their own lives, which is fine. But you have to have discipline, guys. You have to have discipline in a lot of things for you to be successful. You can't expect to be great and to accomplish things and get things in life to bring your life to the next level if you don't have goals set and realistic goals at that. I'm not telling you to think small. No, think sky's the limit. Past the skies. Try to reach for the stars. You know what I mean? And if you land against the moon, then you still, above Earth. So what I'm saying is, guys, think about the longevity of what you're doing to be successful. Stop just thinking about, I want to be rich. What does that consist of? Being rich for, everybody is probably different. What does it mean to be rich? What do you mean when you say I want to be rich? I want to have a nice house, a nice car. Like, where does it stop, or where does it start, or what you're going to do and what's the process in getting that done? What are you doing to accomplish those things gradually? It's a long game, guys. This is a long game. It's not an overnight thing. I have ways to go into being known or being respected in this podcast industry, in this YouTube land. I have super ways to go, and I have to give homage to a lot of people, because there's guys out there that I watch, and if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't even gotten the courage or just got on my shit and be like, I'm going to get this done, because it's something I've been thinking about for a while. So I'm going to shout out for sure, my guy, Nigo Samara, big up yourself. You don't know the vibes, good youth, you understand? And I also got to big up Dale Elliott Jr. Two guys that been super consistent and been doing it. And majority of the people is going to know these guys as comedians, but these guys' work ethic is crazy. They're serious when it comes to work and creating content. Not because it's some comedy shit and y'all can laugh and joke and ha ha ha. You have to really pay attention how these guys is out here putting in work. That's two main guys from the, Jamaican community that I got to shout out and tell them big up themselves. You know what I mean? And then, of course, you have the Drink Champs that, I'm a fan of. They usually have great content on there. $1 million worth of game. Big up them too. You know what I mean? Great content over there. And as you guys know, they just signed a contract. I think it was for like $100 million with a vodka company. New Amsterdam, I think, or I forgot the name of it. But yeah. So I know I have ways to go. I know the road that I'm taking, and it's not going to be no easy thing. But I'm here for the long game, guys. I'm here to create content that is going to be timeless. You can go back 100 years from now when I'm gone, and you can still sit down and listen to meds and the meditation. You understand what I'm saying? You can still do that and say, he was spitting some real shit. Spitting food for the soul on some positive level. And that is my goal. And that's what I'm inspiring to do and I'm aspiring to do. So it's the long game, guys, and I understand it. And I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know, not because this is the last episode of season 1. This is just breaking up my vision and how I see things going on this platform. I reach at a point now where I'm confident enough that 20 episodes in, it's creating the narrative of what the channel is and what it's about and what I'm offering to the space. You understand what I'm saying? I feel I'm solidifying that. So now when I start season 2, I can incorporate other things and just widen the knowledge of understanding and getting more people involved with their point of view. Because as you know, all the episodes on season 1 that I've done was more of my interpretation, my sights, my understanding, and my knowledge on topics and how I see things. And I am not an ignorant person to think that that is the only way life is, and that's the only way people see life. So I'm gonna now bring other people in this forum in my world to get their understanding. So it's the long game. And then of course, once I close that chapter, there is gonna be another chapter, guys. And this is where I'm saying you have to set yourself up with goals and accomplish those goals and keep going forward and building on top of that. It's like building a house. Get your foundation steady and strong, and then you can build up from there. But there's ways to go. It's the long game. We have to understand and we have to know as people that success is a long game. If you want generational wealth and if you want your narrative or just your legacy to live on after you, you have to play the long game. Because that's the only way it's going to be set in stone, concrete, and can't move. And you as the individual have to set it up that way. You have to make sure you put your foot down. Take claim in your own success, in your own wealth as an individual. Play the long game, guys. Strategize. In everything, there are strategies. Just don't come out here on a whim, do something, and because it didn't go in your favor, you drop it. No. If you strategize, even when you fail, the strategy is there to know what the adjustments need to be made to keep going. We have to play the long game. You have to play the long game in success in whatever you're doing. And if anyone that's listening that is also thinking about doing their own podcast, I would encourage it. A great deal. There is never enough content for the world. We all need to have content and providing content because everyone has their own mind, how they see things, how they view things. And there's other people that might have similar views and would love to hear that and to know they're not alone in their thoughts and in their reasoning. So I would encourage anyone that wants to do YouTube or podcast, I would encourage you, go ahead and do it. But just don't think 1, 2, 10, 20 episodes in and you're going to be a big superstar. You have to know what you're doing it for. You have to play the long game, guys. You have to strategize. You have to put pieces to the puzzle. You have to put You have to put pieces to the puzzle. You understand? Like the Jamaicans say, you have to plant the seeds for it to grow. You have to plant the seeds for it to grow. It's not just think of it and then it fly off and then you're successful or you're a celebrity or you're famous. No, that's not what you're doing it for. If you're gonna do this for that reason, you're in it for the wrong reason, guys. You have to love educating. You have to love, giving people your thoughts and how you see things and your views on life. And just know that you're doing it genuinely from the heart and it's something that you love. And then whatever is going to come from it will come from it. Whatever payoff is going to come, it will come. You have to understand it's a long game. Like I said, if you're not doing something for at least 10 years plus, you have no right. You have no right to feel you're obligated to anything in anything you're doing. 10 years plus for you to even consider yourself a brand, a legacy. And I guarantee you, whatever you're doing, if you stand firm, 10 toes down, 10 years plus, the universe, it will never fight you. The universe is going to give you what you've been working for. I'm telling you. I am telling you guys. I think that 7 to 10 year mark in business is the pinnacle of change. Even if you don't feel the passion anymore, stay with the consistency and continue to put effort and put energy and put work into your business, in your plan, in your brand, whatever it is. Make that commitment of doing it and doing the long game. And I promise you, you will see things turning around. Don't just do something for a year or two and feel like because it's not where you see it in your mind, you should give it up. You have to play the long game, guys. The long game is what will make the difference and give you the success that you're looking for. When you play the long game, you're going to go through every emotion, guys. You're going to go through every emotion in what you're doing to get to where you're going. And once you overcome all those emotions and live through all those emotions in what you're doing, the universe is going to grant you what you want. I promise you that's how it works. That's how it's going to be. So you have to play the long game in whatever you're doing. You know, I want to express to you guys, you know, I appreciate all the feedback that I'm getting from my topics. I don't take it lightly. I don't shove it under the rug. I do genuinely appreciate it. And I just want to tell everyone that does give feedback, thank you very much. You know, I don't have a problem with speaking on topics that you guys want me to speak on. It's just that I might not see things the way you see things at times, and it's okay. But we have to agree to disagree sometimes. And I wouldn't take constructive criticism from anyone and turn it into a debate, because that's just not my style. And that is not the right way of being an educator and a teacher and someone that's trying to enlighten people. But don't feel that when you give me comments and you give me feedback when I don't speak on it or I don't make an episode out of it that I'm disagreeing with you or it's not good enough. You guys have to understand that I'm trying to get out my message and my views on how I see things. And that kind of was my intentions for for season 1. Was putting my mark and my thoughts down and being solidified with that. Season 2 now will have more interactions and more feedback from people. You know, so I just want to put it out there that don't feel that what you're saying or what you've said or information you've offered or topics you've offered is going unnoticed, guys. It will be addressed. I am keeping notes, and I am going to still say thanks to everyone that's still giving advice, still giving me feedback. I love it. I appreciate it. I am not someone that's ignorant to constructive criticism, like I'm saying. I appreciate everything. At least, you know, you have to put positivity in every situation, because if you didn't have a feedback, you wouldn't be listening to what I'm saying. And of course, if you're listening to me, you're supporting me. So I thank you for that. You know what I mean? And a lot of people might not get the significance of what I'm saying when I say we have to play the long game. And in other words, I'm just saying it's a marathon, guys. Pace yourself, but don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop running. It's a marathon, but pace yourself. Don't fly through the door speeding because of what you see on social media or what everybody else have or what everybody else is doing, and just going 100 miles an hour looking for an answer and looking for a result that is not going to be conducive to your situation and your goals. And if it doesn't work out in that way, you're upset and you're angry and you're going to stop doing what you're doing. You have to pace yourself. It's a long game. But I promise you, stay firm, consistent. The universe is going to grant you what you desire. You want to be successful. You want to be wealthy. You want to spend more time with your family, because that's really the goal. You know, a lot of people don't know when they say they want to be rich, they want to be wealthy, it stops there. And it goes back to what I'm saying. They're not playing the long game. They just think of an idea, of have a thought, and just think of the other parts. So they'll say, I want to be rich. And after saying that is house, cars, vacations. Okay, how are you going to get from the thought of wanting to be rich because you're not happy with where your life is or how you're living to get into the big car, the big house, the vacations, and the nice clothes? The in-between. Where does the in-between die? And that's where a lot of people don't have that grasp of what success is. There is no in-between. The thought of the in-between and the process of how it's going to get done is not there mentally for them. You have to work on that. And working on that is playing the long game. The long game, guys. Years of structure, of training, of changing who you are mentally, physically, through the process to get to that next level. You can't take the 1% or the 2% success of people that get successful overnight from doing one small thing to your life. You can't do it that way. You have to look at the majority. And there's millionaires, there's people becoming millionaires every day. But look at their process. Look at what they're doing day in, day out, night in, night out for years to get to that part. And like they say, guys, the first million is the hardest one to get. After that one, the second and the third and then the 10 is going to be easy. So break it up that way. You want to be a multimillionaire, fine. But get the long game of figuring out, how am I going to get to the first million? What is my math? What is my structure? What am I doing, my business plan to get the first 10,000, the first 100,000? And then what do I need to double up on? What do I need to repeat? What do I need to get automated to get to that million? Stop thinking of A and then Z. What happened to B and Y? What happened from B to Y? That's the long game I'm explaining, guys. That is the long game. Get the structure for the long game. Follow the structure. Follow the blueprint of that structure, and you'll never go wrong. You'll get to the destination. You just have to know the journey and plan it out very well. And understand that it is going to be time consuming to get there. The long game, guys. We have to learn to play the long game. Don't just get up hot for something and then because it didn't work out in a year or two, you put it down. It doesn't work that way. You have to play the long game. Years of putting in the work. Years of putting in the work. It doesn't matter what business sector you're in, what you want to do, type of business, it doesn't matter. You have to put the time in. That's one thing every millionaire have in common. They have invested time in what they are good at, what they want to be successful in, and that's what made them a millionaire. We have to unlearn, guys, and relearn a lot of things. There's people out here telling you how to get rich, but they're not explaining to you that you have to embed in your mind the long game. We have to know how to play the long game. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Pace ourselves. Get a chart. You'll notice that when you're doing things, look at the starting point and where you are and see how far you've come over the years. Your knowledge, your understanding, your persistence, how far have you came over the years from when you started that business venture or that idea or that investment? How far have you came? How far have you come? Look at that aspect to get motivation and keep the consistency going. And I promise you, you're further away from the starting line than where you are from the finish line, if that makes sense to some of you guys. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to get at when I'm telling you guys that play the long game. You'll never lose. There'll be opportunities, there'll be ventures along the way that isn't even going to benefit you in other ways, that is even going to get you closer to the finish line and getting to you to where you want to be at. You understand? So that's what I mean when I say play the long game. And I'm putting myself in the mixture when I'm showing you guys that I'm not expecting to be some YouTube sensation or some podcast celeb because I have 20 episodes on a podcast or 20 episodes on a YouTube channel. I know the message is reaching people. I get it and I understand people are interacting, and I love the fact of that, and I would love for more people to subscribe, share, like, but I know it's the long game. This is going to happen over time. Even the YouTube business model, before you could even make money on YouTube, they want you to have over 1,000 subscribers and I think over 50,000 hours of watch time, and of course other things and other factors. People have to understand these things. Nothing happened overnight. It's the long game. So even YouTube is playing the long game. Same thing with the podcast platforms. I have to have an X amount of listeners over a period of time before I'm monetized on my podcast. And I understand it. And it's the long game, guys. It's the long game. You have to be in it and understand the process. But you will never get there if you don't start. So that's the next thing. Understand the time, the commitment it'll take, and how long drawn out the process might be. But you're going to be further away from that finish line or from the success you're looking for if you never start. So you have to start now. You have to start now. Just understand that you're playing the long game. It's not going to happen overnight. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Keep watching. Keep listening. All podcast platforms. Appreciate the love. YouTube, Lan, big up yourself. You know the vibes. And like I always say, guys, positive thoughts equal positive results. Positive vibes every time, guys. This is episode 20. It's called The Long Game, and it's the final episode to conclude season 1 of Prolific Vibe Podcast. I love you guys. Everything I've said, I've been passionate about. Every comments I've made, I've been passionate about. I don't speak on things if I don't feel passionate about it, or if I don't feel that is my belief and my stance on things. I still don't have a problem with people proving me wrong or showing me their way of looking at things. But I'm not doing this for clout, guys. I'm not doing this for celebrity status. I just love to teach. I love to share my knowledge of what I know, how I see things, and hope it could benefit someone at some point in their life. And like I said, 100 years from now, I would love for someone to sit back and listen to what I'm saying, and it's resonating with them at that point, because I'm trying to give timeless information. I'm not on the wave of giving people what's current event or what's going on now. That's whack. That's trash to me. You have to give people timeless information that's going to benefit them, benefit our people, benefit our culture, benefit of, the lifestyle someone want to live, which is being successful, being wealthy, having the freedom, guys. Get that in your heads. When you say you want to be rich and wealthy, put the money away. The money is just going to buy the worldly things that you love and you want. But the real wealth is the freedom to do these things and have the time to spend with family and show your family a good time. That's really what wealth is, the freedom of doing these things. The money is just the extra and the brata, that you'll have to provide that lifestyle. But freedom is really the key. And once you have freedom, your brain clicks better, you come up with new ideas, and greatness can evolve. Just understand and know it's never going to happen over time, guys. You have to play the long game. So like I said, thanks for listening, guys. Last episode for season 1. It's been a pleasure. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all definitely. I'm going to still drop content in the meantime, but it'll be small things. Not sure yet because obviously you still got to be relevant. I'm just not going to go cold turkey off the grid, but as far as having these extended episodes of the podcast and having topics on the podcast, we're going to take a small break. And it's going to be bigger and better things for season 2. I hope you guys stay locked in. Look out for that. Stay subscribed and like everything I'm doing, guys. I'm doing it for you guys. Blessed love. I'm out, guys. All right. Peace.